Good morning, friends. We already day 24. Sorry for my voice. It's the first time I took this morning. A bit of coffee helps. Okay, right. So, welcome back to the 90 days to travel bold. And, guys, yesterday I spoke about my trip um, for Turkey that I may or may not cancel. Um, I want just to tell you a few stories, right? Um, I've almost died of a brain malaria in India. I've been in a sinking boat, okay, in Gabon. That was in November, December this year. I've been stranded with no internet in Tanzania during the presidential election, and well, there was 700 deaths. So today, I want to show you the emergency travel folder. I have, let me not pull everything. I have several versions of them, okay? Oh, okay. I have several versions of them, okay? Depending on which bag I'm using, etc. Um, so the reason why I'm carrying that is that my family never has to go through the nightmare again, right? Because I've been in a few situations where I almost died. In India, it was so bad. I couldn't walk anymore. Um, it was very, very bad. I got hospitalized in India. Um, my family didn't have all the information of where I was. Same in Gabon, when I took the boat, I did not say that I was taking the boat because it was just, yeah, a routine thing. And same way for Tanzania, they didn't have all my information of where I was staying. So they were panicked when, people start dying, you know, because they thought I was in Dar es Salaam. So to prepare our family and to make sure that everything goes to plan, go smoothly, okay? That your family don't get a heart attack because they don't know where you are. I want to share a little bit what I'm taking with me, what I'm putting with me in that emergency folder, okay? So I still don't know, okay? I shared yesterday about Turkey. Thank you so much for you guys coming back to me. I still don't know what I'm gonna do when it comes to Turkey. I will wait it out, as a lot of you advise, and see, if the airlines and all of that cancel. So you can't always control what happens when you travel, right? But it's important to be prepared. So um, it's very simple, okay, but it makes a big difference to prepare that folder, okay. It's mainly at this time, right, where we're traveling in uncertain time, with the war left and right, okay, like in Turkey. So it's important to check your country of residence official traveler advice, as I said yesterday. Okay, for us in France, let me put that on the screen. For the French citizen, you must register to Ariane. Let me just put that on the screen in case there's any French people here, Ariane. Okay, I will put all of that in the description. Why is it important? Is that if something happened, and it happened for me in Cameroon during the pandemic, where I get stuck, first in Gabon, then in Cameroon, in Africa, and my family was here. Imagine when all these people were dying, like, and I was by myself without my children, my husband. And because I was registered with the French embassy and they knew that I was in Cameroon, after a few weeks or a month, they managed to send me back to France. And also, you get those alerts, okay? If there's something happening in a country, because you never know, okay, you will receive an alert about what's happening, and often they will give you a place where to go in case of emergency. So it's really, really important. Nowadays, there's so many things happening that you don't know, and that's how they can, repatriate you back to your country, okay, of your citizenship. So in the UK, there's another one as well. Okay, for those of you in the UK, it's called the Foreign Common Health Department of Office. Okay, YouGov. Okay, and it's this one. Okay, same thing. Sign up for travel alerts. These days, I think it's extremely important to do this simple gesture to register to let know that you are in such or such country. to avoid having any issues. Okay, so that's that. So for the physical folder, okay, now I'm gonna go to the list for the physical folder. Yes, you have. Um, Let me remove this one. Okay, just a second. Let me remove the one here. Which one is okay? Good. So the embassy contact. Okay, the first thing I will put here. I won't be able to show you everything anyway because you won't be able to see it with the light and everything. So the embassy folder where you get all the information of your embassy, where in the country where you're going. Okay, because you don't rely just on your mobile phone, please. Okay, battery goes off, something happened with the phone or whatever. Paper never lie. Paper always there available if you don't lose the folder, of course. Okay. So the second thing is a copy of your passport. You know that, guys, none of what I'm gonna say here maybe something that is so, whoa, I didn't know about that, right? But it's good to have a reminder, okay, for you to put in this folder this copy of your passport. The third thing you want to do is the return flight cash. Simply because when things happen, okay, the ticket that you travel with, you may not be able to exchange it to change the date. Depend what you took. If you took a non-refundable, non-exchangeable, then you're stuck. But if you have to go back early, make sure that on the top of the money that you have to travel, you always have enough money for your return flight. Enough money for if something happen, okay, you can um you can go back or you can go to the next destination. It happened to me in Tanzania because after the election, during the election, there was a lot of protests. Okay, 700 people died, and I needed to leave Tanzania in emergency. I wanted to go because I didn't feel comfortable anymore. So what I did is I went to the next country. It was Nairobi, Kenya. Sorry, in Kenya, right? But I needed to have enough money to be able to travel to Nairobi, Kenya, and take a flight. So that's very important. We don't always think about like having like a return, have cash enough hidden, okay, for a one-way ticket home. You never know. The bank are offline, your card are blocked. You know, cash is the only way out. You need to be able to have enough money to do that, even if it's just out to the next country, okay, which I did. So the fourth one is the medical red alert. Okay. It's like when I was in uh, India, okay, and that I had brain malaria, I couldn't speak anymore. Uh, I almost died. Like when I came back to the UK, the doctor were like, "How are you still standing? You know, with the level of malaria that I had in my blood, I should be dead." So I didn't see it coming when I was in India, but suddenly I just couldn't walk, and I didn't have that ready. They needed to know my blood test, allergy, etc. I didn't have that written anywhere. So nowadays, I have a document that is printed here that will say, give all this information. So in case you are sick and have to go to the hospital and you can't talk, like it was for me in India, and my brain was not working anymore, I couldn't communicate. Um, this would have helped a lot, but I didn't have it then. Now I'm using the medical red alert. Okay. So, and also in the contact language of where you're going to make sure that people can understand you. So it's extremely, extremely important in case of emergency. Okay. You have to write on the envelope in case of emergency and always have it in your bag. So in case of problem, they can find it for you. Okay. And they can have your information. And I'm also diabetic. So there's things that they cannot give me that could kill me. So it's very important to have that folder about your medical history and etc. The number 5 is the flight details. Why? Because well, it's important, right? If you want to they would know where you come from. And in case of emergency, you also have all these details anyway to be able to contact your airline, to contact your family so they can maybe deal with it. For me, where I was, I couldn't communicate. So my husband had this information to be able to contact the airline, etc. So these are the things that I choose to take with me and put in that folder. Okay. The accommodation bookings, we all know. Okay, maybe it's to book the Uber and you don't know where you're going, and also so the address, contact, and everything. It's very important to have it in here. Okay, uh, that I think most of us do. Travel insurance, extremely important. Nowadays is even more important, right? I tend to skip it when I just go next door, country next door, but wrong. Okay. Nowadays, with the craziness that's happening in the world, always take a travel insurance. Um, Not only if something happen, your flight or whatever, you can contact the insurance so they can sort out things for you. So for me, it's very important today. If things don't go to plan, have your travel insurance. So um, the number 8 is important contact. When I was sick in India, um, I didn't know, the host, because I was in like a type of guest house. And so because I went to in India for a yoga retreat, and the my host didn't know who to contact because I couldn't speak. I couldn't walk anymore. And but he didn't know who to contact. Fortunately, my husband managed to contact him. And so this is how they managed to communicate. But I didn't have all the information ready in case. My husband was not in alert to see that he hasn't spoken to me for a few days. So have emergency contact. So, if something happened to you and you can't talk, like it was the case for me, um, they can contact your loved one. Okay. Airline numbers, anything that you might need fast, even for yourself. Okay, in case of emergency, that something happened in the country where you are, you will need everything ready. As I said, don't rely on your mobile phone. Mobile phone fell, you can lose contact, etc. But if you have everything in old-fashioned paper, okay, it's easier to access it fast. You have your airline number if you need to change things. You have emergency contact, your family to help you out, etc., etc. Okay. Um, Number 9 for me is extremely important, is to create a shared cloud or whatever folder, online drive folder. Okay, with all this same information that from 1 to 9, all the information need to be in there. So your family have all the information to uh, where your flight number, hotel address, copy of your passport, everything in your drive or cloud, okay? And share the link with your kids, with your spouse, with family, friend, etc. So they have all this information for you ready in case of something, in case you lose the physical folder, okay? Yourself, you can access the one online, okay? And your family as well can access it for you in case you don't have internet, etc. And they can, we still use scan, how do you call it, fax today, right? They can scan it for you and send it, etc. So, right. And number 10, okay, I think it's extremely important. It's something that I didn't know do before, is the check-in rule. It's like tell your family, if you don't hear from me by such or such time, call this embassy number. It sounds extreme, but after what I've been through, um, it's just smart travel. Okay. I told you I almost died in a boat in Gabon, but because the boat um, got broken underneath, hit something, and water filled the boat and start, sinking. So fortunately, we were not far from where we were going, and we got rescued. And my family was not aware. In India, the same. I got sick and almost died of brain malaria. And in Tanzania during the election, we got cut off for over 5 days with no internet, and I couldn't contact my family. And they were very worried, and I hadn't told them where I was going, so they had to call people, around to find where I was, because I did not give them the information of the place where I was staying. So make sure that for your own sake and for your family's sake, that you have everything ready. And for the B nationals like me, that's something else. I always travel with both my passport. Um, I travel with, oh, there's my kids who's here as well. I travel with my French and my Gabonese passport, simply because when you are abroad, and I travel a lot within Africa, there's places where I can enter in that country and without a visa. Same for this one. So having those two passports give me option and possibilities. If I'm stranded somewhere, instead of going through all these visa process and etc., you can choose to go to a country next door, who will get you out of the place of where things are happening to the next country easily, if you have more option to where to go depending on your passport. I always have my vaccination card as well. That's also very important. Oh, something else that I didn't add there. I always have passport photos available. Guys, passport photos are always ugly. It's like, prison or something. The way you look like that, you shouldn't smile. Oh my God. Anyway, I always have passport photos, because if you need to, you never know. You may have to do a document, a visa, or sometime abroad they may ask you for photos. I always have them ready, and some cash for the currency of where I'm going. Lately, I'm traveling a lot in Central Africa, so this is some money that can get me from point A to point B and can help me survive for a few days. Let's say my car not working, which happen a lot when you are in this area. Sometime ATM aren't available or aren't working, etc., etc. So this is extremely important. Okay. So this is what gives you a peace of mind when you travel. With what is happening with my Turkey trip, having everything organized like that makes it, easier to adapt, right? Give you peace of mind. You don't need to complicate the system at all. Just a simple folder where you put all copies, all important information, in case your internet and phone aren't working. And I know we travel, right, to live our dream, live bold. That's what I'm sharing here on this channel. Not to not to live in fear, but being prepared remove the fear. And it's also with the time, right, the pandemic, the war, the local election. So we need to be prepared, because the world at the moment is crazy. Okay. um so you need to be safe and to be um at peace when you travel, okay, as much as you can. So having things prepared for you will remove stress, okay, will make you feel more comfortable, um, if you know that you have things prepared. So guys, tell me in the comments. Okay, I know this is not like a fun conversation, but it's just, it's as important. So have you ever been stranded? Okay, what is one thing you'll never travel without again? um, for me, is that folder. It's that folder, and also making sure that I have my digital version online for my family. Um, so yeah, that's it for me today, guys. So tomorrow we're talking about it's Wednesday, we're talking about how we paying for our trips. Okay. So Wallet Wednesday, and we're talking about the cost um of these safety nets, right? How to fund your travel, so you always have emergency backup. That's extremely important, to not just travel with the money for your trip, but always have a cushion in case something happen. Okay, I'm telling you that because I'm talking from experience. Okay, sometimes as travelers, you so want to go somewhere, you so want to have your holiday that we're traveling with a budget enough for the trip, but not any caution left for what if something happened, right? We're gonna talk about it tomorrow. All right, guys, I love you. Have a fantastic day. Okay, and don't forget, okay, every day I'm gifting you two free guest pass for two discounted night worldwide, so you can travel and you can even use it in your own town or the next town. You don't have to go far to use it. Okay, so have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys. Bye bye.